This right here is the site where the 11th resident this year died because of a fatal fire here in San Antonio. San Antonio Fire Department says most fatalities and most fires in the city are preventable by people like you.
This year, yeah, we've seen way too many fire fatalities already. And we can say that many of them were preventable and many of them did share several characteristics.
Fatal fires are up in the Alamo City.
Smoking in bed, smoking in the household, falling asleep while smoking, patients that smoke that have oxygen tanks, which is extremely dangerous.
This fiscal year, which starts on October 1st, has seen 11 fires, and there's still about 6 months to go. Last year, there were 10. But fatal fires aren't the only issue.
I'm still dealing with rebuilding my home, and it's a process, and I don't know what I'm going to do.
Melissa Ibarra got a call while at work one night from a neighbor. Her home that she lived in for 5 decades was up in flames, and with it, the memories of her mom and brother.
Her urn was burned, and my brother's ashes, they're just completely gone.
Woody Woodward of San Antonio Fire says the increase in fires can be avoided with everyday fixes.
Everyone in the city should be checking their smoke detectors regularly and changing the batteries regularly.
We did have some smoke detectors, but we didn't, change the batteries or anything like that.
As for the fatalities, the majority of the 11 have been in elderly individuals.
You have a lot of senior citizens that are living alone. We have a lot of seniors in San Antonio that struggle with hoarding.
But as compared to last year, it's not like the population of San Antonio got a whole lot older. They got a year older.
Right.
The homes didn't get a whole lot older. They got a year older.
Yeah,
so what would that?
So it's hard to say why now, but we know that there are a lot of vulnerable homes in San Antonio, and so why this year, I don't have an answer for that.
Says with the recent border inspection related trucking delays, some of you are wondering when or if prices will drop again. Fox San Antonio's Amanda Henderson explains when they could start evening out.
Tonight, we're learning just how much Governor Greg Abbott's increased trucking inspections cost Texas.
What we found is that over the entire period that this occurred, which was basically April 6th until April 15th, the Texas economy probably lost about $4.3 billion in gross product.
That's about $477 million a day. Economist Ray Perryman reached these numbers after adjusting a border delay study he did in 2019. He says the loss will more so impact suppliers versus the Texas economy, noting the loss he predicts isn't solely because of rotting produce.
It's not just the items themselves, but also the downstream effects of not having those items. There's a lot of different things that go into this.
Of course, some of those goods are fruits and vegetables. The Fresh Produce Association of the Americas says, quote, each day the inspections were in place meant that those $28.7 million of produce were left sitting on bridges waiting to cross. Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller says this is causing a rise in prices.
I predicted, high-priced avocados and limes and empty shelves in the produce aisle. Unfortunately, my predictions came true.
So will you pay more for much longer? Miller says probably not.
Give it, 10 days to a couple of weeks. I think things will be back to normal.
Until things even out, local farmers are helping. Johnny Haas with Heart in the Hill Country says those farmers he works with are now selling to new customers. Produce centers.
He's selling them to River City Produce right now as well, so they're actually seeing some of his produce over there downtown.
It was just the students, the teachers, the administrators, and the community working as a team that I believe really led to that success.
Right now, a local school district is drawing national attention for closing the learning gap so many students have suffered through during the past couple of years.
And News 4 San Antonio's Jim Lefko is here to show you what Somerset ISD did to earn the recognition.
Somerset is one of just 3 school districts recognized for its performance during the pandemic by the National Institute for Excellence in Teaching.
Ultimately, we want 100% of our students to master their objectives each and every day.
F, G, H, and J. Why would we need those?
Somerset's 3 core strategies include strengthening classroom instruction by engaging teacher leaders, using high-quality instructional materials to train teachers, and intervening with students most in need to minimize their time out of the classroom.
That's been really pivotal in our success to really focus on teacher development.
Somerset did more than just close the learning gap during COVID. It actually accelerated student learning.
It wasn't easy at all. I mean, everything that we knew got turned upside down when COVID hit.
Somerset was recently honored as one of just 9 districts in the state for outstanding academic achievement during the pandemic, outperforming the region and state in math and other subjects by a large percentage.
It all has to do with that upfront planning from the get-go.
Schools nationwide are struggling with how to overcome learning loss while also engaging students. Somerset has about 4,000 students, with nearly 90% considered economically disadvantaged.
They come from low socioeconomic backgrounds, but it just goes to show you that if somebody takes the initiative and cares for students, kids can do some amazing things.
The other districts cited by the Institute for Excellence in Teaching for closing the learning gap are in Arkansas and Louisiana.